Hello YouTube world, my name is Michael and thank you so much for tuning into my channel, the #1 place for innovators, marketers, and entrepreneurs. In one of my previous videos, How to Distinguish Innovation Types, you learned all about the leading categories of innovation. You also found out that many organizations claim to practice innovation but really don't. Yet as my other Uber trend videos like Generation Ecstasy and Voyeurgasm show, there are many opportunities for organizations to leverage the changing values of consumers and businesses to create incremental or disruptive innovations. If you need a quick visual overview of what these various types of innovations entail, please visit my website at ubercool.com, where you will find excellent examples of each major innovation category, from incremental to orthogonal to disruptive. The fact is that far more innovation is needed for many organizations to survive in this era of hyperchange. In my book, Uber Trends, I offer this thought starter. Innovation is part of a ceaseless Darwinian struggle for existence. Of the original 12 Dow Jones companies, only one still survives, and that company was just removed from the Dow Jones Industrials Index. To ensure success, practice relentless innovation. I'm sure you can guess what company that was, can't you? But did you know that the average tenure of companies in the S&P or Standard & Poor's Index has shortened dramatically from 61 years in 1958 to 18 years today? According to a story in Harvard Business Review, since 2000, 52% of Fortune 500 companies have either gone bankrupt, been acquired, or ceased to exist as a result of digital disruption. That is more than half. And in my time compression video, I showed that the acceleration of time is only going to speed up the cycle of innovation. That means that digital disruption will affect the fate of many more companies in the not too distant future. I took this picture of the last Blockbuster store in Bend, Oregon, which has become a true magnet for the curious. Remember what Blockbuster CEO Jim Key said in 2008? Neither Redbox nor Netflix are even on the radar screen in terms of competition. Today, Netflix has nearly twice as many subscribers, 151 million, than all US cable and satellite TV services combined. Now you know why a top trending topic on LinkedIn these days is change readiness. A large portion of society is not ready for the tsunami of change looming on the horizon. One of the biggest challenges facing our world today is chief executives, top educators, and government officials giving lip service to innovation without actually pursuing it. While I realize that there are now 5,700 organizations worldwide with a chief innovation officer in place, up from just 709 years ago, concrete evidence of this massive injection of innovation remains noticeably scant. In some industries, such as automotive, it's not the innovation team that drives renewal, but rather the specter of a new rival, like Tesla. This Silicon Valley upstart tackled two major industry challenges. Why can't we build a great electric car, and why can't we sell direct to consumers? Just 10 years after delivering its very first car, the Roadster, Tesla surpassed Mercedes-Benz in terms of vehicles sold in the third quarter of 2018. The fact is that clogged arteries at Mercedes kept blood from flowing to the creative part of its brains. To create innovative products or services requires an unfettered flow of ideas free from old calcified Germanic thinking. I guess Mercedes-Benz got Netflixed. And I just read that the Mercedes-Benz C-Series is the car most sold in the first year of ownership. Wonder why? One of the most remarkable case studies of innovation was that of the IBM PC. In 1980, IBM was absent from the most dynamic sector of the tech industry, personal computing. That year, IBM established the Personal Systems Division in Boca Raton, Florida, tasked with developing a new computer which astonishingly launched in August 1981. IBM made the highly unusual decision to rely on an open architecture using off-the-shelf components. That open design created a huge aftermarket of add-ons that could be used to expand the system. In another break with tradition, IBM sold its PC via outside retailers. In 1983, Time named the IBM PC Machine of the Year, the first time that honor was bestowed on an inanimate object. This remarkable success story of incubating ideas independently and remotely from headquarters makes one wonder why this innovation model hasn't been used more often since. Don't you wonder? When IBM entered the PC market in 1981, Apple ran an ad in the Wall Street Journal simply headlined, "Welcome IBM, seriously." Of course, we all know what happened after that. Corporate decided to rein in Boca Raton and transferred employees to other divisions, leaving just 1,500 staffers in Florida. In 2004, IBM sold its PC division to Lenovo for just $1.8 billion. Now let's contrast Apple with IBM. In 1985, Apple Computer had just completed its second year of selling its innovative Macintosh computer with total revenues just shy of $2 billion. IBM, by comparison, was a $50 billion behemoth. In fiscal year 2018, IBM revenues reached $80 billion. That's less than 1/3 of the $266 billion in revenues Apple generated in its latest fiscal year. Two lessons from this innovative case study. It's easy to lose your way even after introducing disruptive innovation, and central corporate control is often misguided, but very in line with an Uber trend I will be covering next month called Unwired, which is propelling the control enthusiast phenomenon. So why don't people innovate? There are a host of excuses. It's like listening to a child that is trying to come up with a good excuse after being bad. We're so successful, we don't need to invest. Or how about this one? Our margins are razor thin, so we don't have the resources. Then there is, we're too buttoned up to do something wild and crazy. The nose to the grindstone crowd offers this one. We're focused on our next quarter. We can't be distracted right now. The best excuse, we know what our customer wants, and we haven't heard them ask for anything new or different. Not. These excuses boil down to two cold, hard facts. One, Wall Street's short-term profit focus breeds short-term myopia. And two, there is no sense of urgency. Or said the old school way, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Of course, once Wall Street sees that you're no longer growing because you didn't want to invest because you were afraid they were going to bail on you, they will bail on you anyway. There are many creative approaches to breaking this logjam, which I will cover in a future video. But suffice it to say that unlike most innovation consultants who tell you to take 2 pills and call them in the morning, I have come up with an orthogonal solution to corporate constipation. Public shaming. Yes, YouTubers, the only way to make people aware that they are blocking future growth is to message them in a humorous, irreverent way. I mentioned in my How to Distinguish Innovation Types video that the Wall Street Journal published a story in 2012 called "You Call That Innovation?" That story pinpointed the very problem we are discussing today. Here's a quote from the article. Companies are touting chief innovation officers, innovation teams, innovation strategies, and even innovation days. But that doesn't mean the companies are actually doing any innovating. Here's the number one question I get from attendees after my talks. How do I get management to buy in on the things you talked about today? So I decided that the journal article required a modern-day solution, an emoji. And that emoji is called chuckle. The easiest way to get the point across is to use chuckle with the hashtag #YouCallThatInnovation in social media posts to point out a glaring need for an innovative solution. Here's a perfect example. Ever ship with FedEx? Well, if you have an account number, you know that they're formatted like this. One day, I spent hours trying to ship my books using a third-party account number. Do you know that after entering it a dozen times with the dashes, I discovered that FedEx's shipping manager does not accept account numbers with dashes? Now, any self-respecting developer could write the code to handle inputting a formatted number in about 5 minutes. FedEx is a $70 billion company. Imagine how much more money they could make and make those Wall Streeters very happy if their website offered a better customer experience. And FedEx is not alone. I encounter these types of boneheaded obstacles almost daily. Yet, as you will find out in my book, administrative innovation impacts the bottom line more than any other type of innovation. Yet so many organizations fail to monitor the customer journey. So here's how I use chuckle in a tweet. I'm sure no one in Memphis paid any attention, which is why we have to get even more proactive. I want you to wear a chuckle t-shirt around people who need a swift kick in the ass when it comes to innovation. And better yet, post your pictures wearing that t-shirt on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Most of those executives will have no clue why you're wearing that funny t-shirt. Of course, in a few years, everyone will know, but now is the time to get the point across without being obvious about it. You can buy these t-shirts on my website, and remember, the money will go to a good cause. I am organizing pizza and champagne parties around the globe for people willing and able to join my innovation crusade. It's an out-of-the-box way of thinking, but that's exactly what every innovation consultant tells you to do. I'm leading by example. I also have stickers you can place on their expensive car or corner office door. Don't worry, the stickers are innovative and therefore removable. If you visit my site, I explain the thinking behind the You Call That Innovation Crusade. You can also download a reprint of that Wall Street Journal article, which will shed much more light on this challenging subject. So please repeat after me. What do we want? Innovation. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Innovation. When do we want it? Now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I sincerely wish that you will be inspired enough to become an innovation activist. The world really needs you. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button to stay on top of my innovation crusade, and hit the bell to be notified of each new video. Next week's video will delve into the casual living Uber trend, the evaporation of decorum. I hope you have a great day, a great week, and a great year. Au revoir, innovators.